Hello everyone. Back again because my audio was a little bit off in the last video and I've made some design changes to the factory here. So I wanted to explain what's going on. Essentially this machine takes soil and scrap and helium and converts it to nanocarbon. And how this works is, to start off, we have our zinc loop. We talked about this in the last video, but again, my audio was off. I couldn't fix it. Scrap is produced via these storage sensors. Every storage sensor produces more scrap than the scrap it takes to make. So eventually this storage silo fills up. When this storage silo fills up, it turns on this auto arm over here. It pulls storage sensors out of the loop until this storage sensor is empty. When that's empty, it cuts this arm back off. What that allows it to do is manage how much scrap gets taken out of the loop, and it keeps this loop going. So this timer is setting off this trade platform, which isn't here right now, but it's bringing back zinc or sphalerite. All the sphalerite is getting moved by these arms over to the smelters. What that allows it to do is basically it puts everything down here and eventually moves everything once it's smelted to the front here so that this arm can pull it off for the printers. So right now looks like we're having an issue with one of these soil canisters having the wrong output enabled. But anyway, maybe that centrifuge is just off. So every time this storage over here empties, more quartz is made so that it can print the storage sensors as well. So basically this is just a big loop that produces extra scrap. Okay? These two machines over here are producing graphite for the graphene and ammonium for the hydrazine, which is also used to make the graphite. These aren't running right now because I have an excess supply of graphite, or graphene, I should say. If we go over here, we can see now that I've moved the organic spin up to be directly involved with the steel platform. So no more. I used to have it back here, and then I would have like 9 platforms to relay the carbon over to the steel platform. But now we got it directly involved, so you only need the one auto arm. It cuts down on the number of auto arms, kind of helps save my frame rate. So this is how we get our titanium and our hematite. It turns into iron. So basically these are already full. These two right here are already full. Basically what's going to happen, there's one spot left on this. I stopped it on purpose so that I could show you in the video. I'm going to turn this back on. This is normally on. It's going to put this scrap on this table. This arm is going to take the scrap from this table and put it on here. Once this is full, by the way, this is a weird design, but there's 14 spaces on here. So 6 on the large storage, 8 on the medium storage. When that fills up, it's going to do 2 things. It's going to launch these off, and then it's going to turn this arm off so that the next time these require scrap and they get back, this hasn't added any scrap from the system. That allows the storage sensor, which is set to full or empty, to continue to be operated properly, because the arms are only pulling off exactly what is needed for these 2 rockets, and also to fill the 2 slots on the auto arms. So if we watch this in practice, these are taking off. This arm shut off, so it's not adding these extra 2 scrap that are now coming from the machine, because that silo over here filled up. So what's going to happen is these arms are going to take all of this scrap off until it hits empty. Now what that does is that cuts this arm back on, and when it's empty, it sends off the trade platforms again. So this arm turns back on, and then we just wait for the storage to fill up again. That's the cutoff that took me forever to solve with this machine, is how to get this to reliably send off these trade platforms. And this is the solution I came up with. It can definitely get weird whenever you're away from the base for a long period of time, and sometimes you have to do some reconfiguring, but otherwise it's totally fine. So after the trade materials come back, this one pulls off the titanite, this one pulls off the hematite. They go onto these racks, they get smelted, they get produced into steel and titanium alloy by the chemistry labs. Those are then put back on these racks because of the way I've blocked off every other port on the table, and they're fed into this machine, which makes nanocarbon alloy. So I've got 125 that I've made since perfecting the machine. Here's the original canister that all of these were collected through debugging. This is my helium. Basically this is the only thing you bring with you. I just set one of these on Atrox and let it collect until it was full. The other gases, argon, nitrogen, and hydrogen, are all found on Basania, so those can be automated directly from atmospheric condensers and put into the machines that require them. So argon goes into steel, nitrogen goes into titanium alloy, and hydrogen goes into hydrazine. And basically that's how the machine works. The graphite is just a single thing here. We only want it to go here and not on the storage rack. So we've got it angled a little bit. I have to watch, otherwise it puts it on my backpack. Yeah, see? It's a little annoying, but we can use it to make packagers, because we always need packagers. So this is the rig for getting more soil. Just a drill and a paver. As you can see, I've pretty well dug a bunch of soil out of these mountains. So it does require quite a bit of soil, that's for certain. But yeah, here's an overview of the factory. Back there I have a miscellaneous little chemistry compound for all the resources and that I pick up whenever I'm gathering soil. So yeah, that's basically it. That's how it works. Scrap, soil, and helium into nanocarbon. So now we've seen these were sent off again when they were empty. They're still working back here. Now we're just waiting on more scrap from the machine. Once this fills up, same thing will happen again. Arm will cut off, and we'll be ready to go. This arm is the one that bugs out, so every once in a while I have to turn off that damn zinc arm. I think what I'm going to do is end up having that run off as part of the counter. That way it gets cut off and on automatically anyway. Yeah, it looked like I had scrap on here. I don't know why it does this. This must be like a bug thing when I'm far away. Because it puts scrap on these, which we don't need. It's very rare though. Like those two pieces probably have been there the whole time it's been operating. That thing did not fill up. Oh, it hit empty whenever it was feeding it onto my backpack, so. We'll just reset it there. When it fills up, it'll switch everything back over. Everything will be fine. So, that's pretty much it. This is what I've been spending most of my time in Astroneer on. Getting this thing nailed down. And it's working. It does kill my frame rate a little bit because I'm on a bit of an older machine, but yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave me a comment. I do my best to answer them. It takes quite a bit of stuff to build, so it is a late game project, but once you're here, your family, like the Olive Garden. Anyway.